Everything is getting more expensive, so we have to consider not only rent, but everything else.
I work for a big tech company, and even with the salary that I bring in there, it's still very difficult to afford living here in Vancouver.
As inflation rises to levels not seen in decades, making just about everything more expensive, BC's housing minister tells City News the province is looking at ways to give renters relief. On the table, a cap on the annual allowable rent increase.
We know a lot of renters are in distress right now. With rising costs, including rising rents.
The annual rent increase is tied to the 12-month average percent rise in the Consumer Price Index, which stood at 4% in April. The final calculation for 2023 would be based on the CPI change as of July.
We're looking at first of all, what the actual number is likely to be based on the Consumer Price Index and what that impact is going to mean for renters. So we're looking at potentially having a rent increase of less than the Consumer Price Index, and also looking at our subsidy programs, our safer program for seniors and other vulnerable renters if they need to be updated to respond to this as well.
The Vancouver Tenants Union, which has called for the pandemic-related rent freeze to continue, says renters can't afford further hits, and renters say so too.
I'm due for another rent increase anytime soon, and I don't think I'll be able to afford it.
We already find it quite expensive for rent, and so the thought of it increasing by how much whatever is decided is a little scary.
I know a lot of friends of mine could definitely not afford an increase next year.
I've been looking for a place, and it's like impossible to find anything. I've been staying on my friend's couch for the last 6 months.
But Landlord BC says their members, many of whom own just one property and weren't able to increase rent because of COVID, are also feeling the impacts of rising inflation.
Our costs are going through the roof, insurance, taxes, you name it. We don't see anybody saying put price freezes on food, but yet, our sector seems to be a never-ending target, and we provide a pretty important service, and we need to be able to do it on a sustainable basis.
Recognizing the situation faced by many renters, that they're barely hanging on, and also the situation faced by landlords, that their costs are going up as well. So making sure that we strike the right balance.
In Vancouver, Monika Gul, City News.